Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome once again to the Bourse Report. This the week before Christmas. Have you completed your shopping, done your Christmas duties, and selected what you want for your favorite nieces and nephews and uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters? Well, let's talk a little bit today about a topic we started a couple of weeks ago, retirement and planning for retirement. I got my Christmas wish today because FEMA finally opened an investment account or plans to open an investment account. Matters less with who, but matters more that you are actually doing it. Make your money work for you. Savings is inactive, investment is active. So let's talk a little bit about this retirement plan, retirement product, and planning and making the initiative to invest in the long term to protect and secure your future at a much later time in life. If you are a youngster at 25 or 30, even if you are in your the middle period of work at 45 or so, it is important that you invest to secure your future. And we'll be talking about that. How much do you need to retire, and how do you go about finding out what you should be saving now in order to be able to retire comfortably? Now, this is a complicated question, and you would need somebody who can advise you, a proper advisor. And I suggest that you do this now because I've said before what has happened to many people as they approach 55 and 60 and start to look at what they need for retirement. It becomes a much bigger chore, a much greater difficulty to save enough at a later stage. Moral of the story, start saving and investing earlier to secure your future. And I'll give you an example as we go along. So let's look at the question of the income that you need to generate in order to be able to have enough savings for retirement. This is just an example, and as I said, based on your specific circumstances, you are going to have that chat with your advisor earlier rather than later so you can start investing. So let's say your projected monthly spending you think at retirement will be about $8,000, and you get an NIS benefit of $3,000 per month, and therefore you still have a gap of about $5,000. And this could be, there are several instances and there are several scenarios. You have a pension and you want to supplement that pension, knowing what that pension is at age 60. You have a pension, you have some savings, you want to supplement that to be able to live a wonderful lifestyle, even though probably in greater moderation at retirement. But there is that retirement gap, and we see it here. I require $8,000 per month. I have $3,000 in NIS, and the gap is $5,000. And therefore, if you are a 25-year-old, what will happen is that you will need to accumulate at the end of your period of work at 60, we are assuming $800,000 in this scenario. And therefore, that's why we say it is easier if you start earlier. So for example, it's using this scenario, if you start at the age 25, you need to save about $786,000 per month. And if you start at age 45, you are going to have to save a lot more, 3,000 or fourfold the amount that you are saving. Moral of the story, start earlier. Then there is the power of compounding. As you start earlier, you accumulate more in the investment returns that you generate. Let's look at that and see what's happening in terms of the investment returns that you generate. So this is it. So if you started saving that $786 at age 25 per month, your contribution in terms of the actual cash that you've put out over the period will be about $330,000, and the accumulated benefit, assuming a return to you, a monthly compounded return, a yearly compounded return, would be about $470,000. But if you started at age 45, you would have to put out so much more. Compare 561 to 330. This is the moral of the story. Save earlier and your compounding will be greater. And therefore, what is added on in terms of your investment returns is smaller. More pressure on you. Start saving earlier. Moral of the story. Okay? And let's talk about why investment returns matter. As you see on your screen, if you were getting an investment return, an annual return of about 3%, here's what's going to happen to you even if you started at age 25. You would put in $330,000 over the entire period. Your compounded return gross would be $252,000. But if it was at 4.5% return, $330,000 you put in, $469,000 will be your return. And if you were generating 6% return, and that's why it's important as you start to save, look at what your providers are generating and who are doing the best among the crop. And you would see that at 6%, you still put out that $330,000 starting at age 25, and you would generate a lump sum, a further lump sum of $789,000, or you would end up with $1.2 million rather than $800,000. So it's important. And finally, or penultimately, you need to look at how you supplement your pension. If you have a retirement plan where your employer contributes half to what you contribute, you will only have to put out a half of the amount. That is, instead of 786, 393. We can talk a lot more about these things, and come to us and look for us at bourseinvestment.com on our website. Seek out an advisor. We've talked at various levels, and we'll talk about what you can generate by going to different plans. So, as I said, contact us at this number, look at our website, and I promise you next year I'm going to do much more on retirement to give you a better idea of what you should be saving, investing in order to secure your future long term. I take this opportunity now to wish you and your families all the very best for Christmas and into the new year. Health, wealth, prosperity, and be safe. This is Subhash Ram Kelawan for the Bourse Report.